Somebody told me a joke. A man was walking in the street one day when he was brutally beaten and robbed. As he lay unconscious and bleeding, a psychologist who happened to be passing by rushed up to him and exclaimed, "My God, whoever did this really needs help." The joke fits perfectly well upon us if we abide in the lower self. If we persist in the company of the lower self, it does us extreme harm. If our true self visits us in this bad condition, it will act exactly like the psychologist who would see the need to correct the lower self first. That's why the Bhagavad Gita lays stress on the need to win over and transform the lower self in the light of the higher self. If we observe the feverish ambience of consciousness that the egoic self creates in us, and the life of inner peace, light, and delight we are deprived of, our condition is no better than that of the man in the street, brutally beaten and robbed. The stress, the worries, the anxiety, the depression, the negativity that we feel and experience, all is a part of what the Bhagavad Gita calls the fever of the soul or the fever of the lower self that we need to get free from. We often tend to put our seal of approval on stress, worries, and anxiety, as we call them, part of life. Some stress, oh, it's part of life. Some worries, oh, they are part of life. Some anxiety, oh, it's part of life. But where do we lose the control and become hypertensive? We simply don't realize. When bigger health issues threaten our lives, we realize something is seriously amiss. And yet, we tend to normalize it. Some high blood pressure, oh, it's normal at this age. Good Lord, we never get to the root of the growing ailments. Rarely do we realize that the ambience of stress, worries, anxiety, negativity, and at times of addiction and depression that we build up inside is not our true self. This is not the type of life we are bound to live. The Bhagavad Gita holds out a mirror to us when it calls it the fever of the soul. This heated ambience of consciousness, fraught with stress, worries, and anxiety, which we feel as tension, is in fact the fever of the soul, the fever of the lower self. As the fever of the body is not the normal state of our body, so the feverish state of our mind and consciousness, that is stress and worries, negativity and depression built up inside us, is not the normal state of our mind and consciousness. It's in fact our lower self beating us black and blue.